So we first share this disclaimer. We're not immigration attorneys. Um, we're just people that have gone through this journey and now, help others who are also going through the journey. And we've had a lot of success stories. Um, if you would like to know more about us outside whatever we're going to discuss during today's seminar or use any of our services, I am displaying here some of our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We have a lot of self-help videos on YouTube that you can actually walk through for your own petition. And we have our website where you can book for consultations or whatever service you would like to. So here's the QR code that will take you to all of these links directly. So today from my side, I'm going to be going through some data. They say data does not lie. And share with you some of the lessons we've learned from the two administrations. So myself, I petitioned in 2020 and I got an approval in 2021. So I was sitting right. I was sitting right there during President Trump's administration. Okay, and since I started working with my green card story, I've seen how things has happened during President Biden's administration. So first, a lot of data, but just don't let the Excel thing scare you. I'm going to be explaining it if I have to. So here is, I'm showing the rates of approval over the years. So this is for all fields of study. So if you're STEM or you're non-STEM, if you're NIW or your normal employer-based petition, you can see what has happened over the years on this chart. So how do you read this chart? You see, the first two bars are for non-NIW. So I believe if you're on this call, you already know what NIW means and what ordinary EB2 means. Please let's mute our mics. So the first two bars are for non-NIW people. So your employer filed for you those years. But we are NIW groups. That's how we put ourselves out there. So the second two bars are for NIW for this graph. Okay. So I'm calling our attention, I'm shining the light on that NIW, National Interest Waiver applicants or applications. So in 2019, you can see that was President Trump's era, right? It was just 5% approvals. Okay. Out of the cases that were received. And you can see how that number just goes on increasing with President Biden's administration. Up to 39% approval was recorded during President Biden's administration. During President Trump's administration, there were stringent rules. Okay, Dr. Bobola will go through all of these things, but that's what can account for some of this reduction that was happening then. Of course, a lot of people were not knowing about NIW until recently, so there were larger numbers of application of NIW generally, but even with the larger applications, there were also higher numbers of applicants. Okay. So the other thing we can see here is that no matter your field of study, okay, that progression was also seen. So I'm showing the photo, any field of study here now, but I'm going to show STEM again. But we are seeing that during President Trump's administration, there were lower approvals. So for STEM, a lot of people believe that NIW is for STEM people. That's not true. Okay, that's not true. But I want to shine the light more on STEM applications because then you can be able to see for sure what was happening 2021 till 2023. Okay, 2024 data is also out, but most of the data I saw just stopped at Q3, so they didn't have for Q4. So I just left that out. It's still like increasing approvals that we noticed for NIW. So right from when employment-based visas have existed, a lot of people or employers have known about it. So the main EB2 is like really consistent, the number of approval and all of that. But what I want to call our attention to here is that we see that number received for most years is lower than numbers approved. Okay. And that's because, especially when President Trump now wins, see fiscal year 2022, you see that a lot of received cases were now being attended to. And you now see that this is when, when people say you need to wait for what's it called now, your time, your priority date. When people say you need to wait for your priority date, this was when it started. Okay, so when I applied, when Dr. Bobola applied, especially for African countries, okay, our priority dates were correct. So if you get an approval today, tomorrow you can wake up and say, I want to change my status. That's not happening again. So all of the backlogs we had from President Trump's administration, where some of them started getting approved in 2022 during President Biden's administration. So again, we see there for STEM, America is still very crazy about STEM. It doesn't say that non-STEM guys don't have chances. They still have a lot of chances, but we see that we still need to lay emphasis on what the national importance and substantial merit of work is, whatever it is for your.
Anyway, again, I apologize, everyone. I'm so sorry about that. So the reasons for this kind of changes again are because President Trump was about America first, employ Americans before you even approve people that want to come and work in America or get green card in America. So the percentages were low, and either if you were an engineer or you were or whatever STEM or a mathematics teacher, it was really low during his administration. Okay. So now segging into or going over to what we should expect. Okay. We should expect that, like the first administration, they are still going to be very stringent on you claiming whatever national importance you want to claim. Okay. So USCIS on its own has its own rules, and some of us on this call, we already know that they released some new, not new, some updates on their policy for NIW. Okay, so generally you're going to see that denial rates will be higher for NIW than employer-based petitions. Okay, before your employer will spend a lot of money to send in your petition, they will be sure that you'll be able to get it or you get an approval. Almost 97% approval is what you see. You don't see a lot of denial for for non-STEM or STEM EB2 applications. Okay, but for NIW we see higher denials because people do not take some time, or they do not take enough time to emphasize on the national importance they are bringing to the United States. Okay, so what's next for petitioners? Okay, and everything I'm going to be talking about will be from that new or updated policy that was released this January, few days ago. So the first thing is that if you cannot claim that you are eligible for the employment base 2, there is no need for you applying. So the onus is on you as an applicant to first of all meet the requirement for EB2 itself before you start claiming national importance. So they were saying in that update that if you don't meet the EB2, which we will remember is that you have to be in a profession that is requiring at least bachelor's, okay, then your advanced degree, of course, in that area of your proposed endeavor. So if you don't have that really checked or that box checked, there's no point now saying if that field or that profession is of national importance or not. They might not even get to evaluating the NIW part of things before they deny your case. So that's one of the updates that they had. And for those that will be claiming 5 years of extra experience, so you have a bachelor's and you are claiming 5 to 10 years of consistent experience in your field, you have to make sure that the experience that you're claiming is in line with your proposed endeavor. Okay, so you cannot do engineering and come and say, I want to own a bakery in the United States, I think, or chemistry, and say you want to own a bakery in the United States. So that's an example they gave. Okay, your experience has to be in line with your proposed endeavor. There's no patching anymore. It won't work. Okay, so in that update as well, they said going forward, President Trump's administration or whoever, USCIS itself, okay, they will be evaluating your evidence together. So it's not that just one evidence is what will make me get an approval. They will be evaluating everything awesomely. And they also gave guidelines on supporting documents. So your recommendation letter, especially, and the business plan. So we've seen a lot of RFE lately because some people, they do not get good recommendation letters, okay? Or some people don't even use recommendation letters, or some people have poorly written business plan or professional plan. So it's not enough for you to claim that you are coming to the United States without a clear path. Okay, so USCIS understands that that path might not work, it might not be successful, but you have to lay it there in your cover letter. What will be your plan? How will you move from A to B on this proposed endeavor? So they are going to lay a lot of emphasis on that. And those that have worked for government agencies, or if you're having supporting letters or you've gotten grants from government agency, they will also lay a lot of emphasis on that, because of course that already shows that you're in a profession or you have a proposed endeavor that the government is interested in. So for STEM professionals, again, is going to be almost a very smooth ride, as it has always been, especially for PhDs. They said in that update that PhDs would have higher priority, something like that. Your PhD is going to help you a lot. Then working in critical or emerging technologies. What are critical or emerging technologies, you want to ask me? I would say depending on what President Trump thinks it is. So
for me, I would say that critical and emerging technology, sorry for jumping in, that will include things like artificial intelligence, quantum computing. What else is President Trump interested in?
So we that do not do quantum computing, what should we do? What should we tell God now?
I don't know.
Anyway, so technology basically. So they gave an example. You might want to improve the manufacturing industry, but how will you improve it? You will not just say you want to improve it. You have to say specifically. There's a thing for specificity or whatever. I don't know that word. Sorry. In this era or going forward. So you have to be very specific. You have to go down to the root of what you actually be bringing to the table. Then they also said that you have to tell them how you are well positioned to advance in that area of proposed endeavor. We know before that they used to tell us to write that, but now they say they will be laying more emphasis on how you are well positioned. So again, talking about your years of experience, if you've worked in, let's say, manufacturing, or you've worked in the energy industry, okay, and let's say you were an engineer, or you were working on renewable energy, Okay, what were you doing? Were you developing models that will help us identify where we can find more hydrogen or how we can produce more hydrogen? You have to be specific to that letter, and how your experience as an engineer will help you to advance that kind of proposed endeavor. So they said the following things will no longer be sufficient. Okay, that you've taught a general class, maybe you've taught, so for example, you're an engineer and you've taught maybe engineering 101. I don't know if that thing exists, but that you've taught a specific small class does not count anymore. You have to show the broader impact. So I've taught a class, but some of my students are now working with big engineering companies. You have to show larger impact that was more than that your job as a teacher in that classroom. Okay, then general importance of your business or your profession will no longer count. So you cannot just say I'm going to be an engineer. Okay, so we know that there is a lot of importance attached to engineering or medical or being a medical doctor, but you will not just say, oh, that's all the importance I'm bringing as an engineer. You have to say, so as an engineer, I'll be developing so models to help something. You have to be very specific. Anything general will not work any longer. So you have to show again that your benefit was not just for your employer. Okay, so we are talking about 5 years work experience, 10 years work experience, but everything was just for your employer. They were paying you salary to do that job. So you cannot come and use it to claim national importance. That work you did for your employer must have maybe gotten you a national award or taking you outside the confines of your establishment, like World Economic Forum or some kind of thing that is very important, or some kind of forum or conference where they are discussing SDG goals, something that you've told people about that work you were doing for that company, so it has impacted more people. Also, as students, that you published for your advisor is no longer sufficient. So when you published, was it just sitting there? Nobody cited your work. Nobody has used your work as an impetus for them to advance. They will no longer take all those kind of things. So they are going a little deeper. Then general assertions about job creation. Okay, I am saying this. If you don't hear anything I've said today, okay, do not make general assertions about job creation on your petition when you're writing. If your lawyer does that for you, tell them to take it out. Okay, the fact that we don't have many engineers that know about, let's say, hydrogen production or hydrogen storage or something is not enough reasons. Okay, don't say because there are scarcity of, don't mention scarcity in your petition letter. They don't like it. They will say go through the labor certification if that's what you want to claim. Okay, so don't make general assertions as your substantial merit or national importance. Okay, that because there is scarcity of so accountants or engineers, so I think I will come and help. No, go to the real help you're providing to the United States. That's the end of my presentation. And again, I apologize everyone for that microphone issue.
Okay, great. Dr. Olanike, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Before we proceed to the next stage, so the next stage is when is a stage that will address, we'll share insight about President Trump's first administration and also what we should expect during his incoming administration. Does anyone have any question for Dr. Olanike before we proceed to the next stage of this meeting?
I have a question.
Okay.
So
Please
let's
go
say
ahead.
you studied social sciences or humanities. These things that you laid out for STEM people to consider when they're filing the NIW, how different would it be for my field in humanities or social sciences? What other additional things would I need to consider?
So generally, I'm just going to state generally because you've not told me what your field really is. But say, for example,
Okay,
I'm an economist. Mhm.
Okay, so my field is in communications, marketing, to be specific.
Okay, so as a marketer, are you developing like a tool that is going to help us to do marketing more? Or how can marketing help the United States? So for me, I'll propose something like bridging the gap in communication to um some communities about some health problems, or let's say the EPA regulations or some medical regulations that were released, maybe for, let's say, cancer patients. So you want to come and bridge the gap about maybe how that problem is communicated in the United States. And you need to have like evidence of something you've done in that line. Maybe you've been a technical writer writing for some cancer research place, or you've interviewed somebody that's worked on cancer. You have to be able to address it to something that is of national importance. So communication is not a bad field, but it's you that will sit down and say, what areas of communication have I worked? Okay, like I've been a marketer, I've developed marketing, maybe materials for so company, but what was that company doing? Were they selling medicine? Were they, what was it about? And even if you're just a marketer for like a business, like you can be a marketer in a computer firm or like a machine development firm. So what kind of machine do they produce in that company that you were a marketer for? So you have to be able to associate it to something that has to do with areas of national importance, the economy, health, culture. I don't know which one I'm leaving out, but health, economy, and culture. They are
Okay.
the three areas of
Can,
importance.
can I quickly ask something?
Yes,
So
please.
one thing about people in this, people that their degree or their field does not fall in the STEM field is sometimes always difficult for them to show that their purpose was national importance and substantial merit. A good way to really show that is just go through President Trump executive orders. He likes executive order. I'm sure he's going to be issuing one every day. There might be an executive order that probably tie into your purpose endeavor. That's a good way to show that it has a national importance. So for Dano, that is the field of communication. How can communication help like various industry? For example, I'll give I'm trying to look for an example. Most people don't understand climate change or energy. Like sometimes companies want to build dams to generate hydroelectricity and people are protesting. Most people, they don't really understand how building those public infrastructure affect the supply of electricity. So someone in communication can help with that, can help to develop materials, whether it could be writing newspaper articles to help to educate people on those things, or maybe develop
Blogs.
programs. And there are people that want to change jobs from one field to another, but they don't understand how to go about it. Someone in communication can help people in that industry to develop materials to educate people or to train them. So you can try to relate your communication skills with things like that. That's just an idea on the top of my head. So Daphne
Yeah,
has
I
been
hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
so Daphne is trying
Daphne.
to Daphne. She's trying to ask a question.
Daphne, the
Hi,
mic is yours.
thanks. My question was for people that have already applied, and is there a possibility that we will all get RFEs asking
Oh,
us to answer these new requirements?
there is a possibility. So this new update says those that already have their petitions being submitted or being evaluated, and those that will submit in future.
Yeah.
So
But
fortunately,
if you have already showed in your initial petition cover letter, if you have met all those things that has been stated in the policy, I don't think you have or any problem. Okay, so
yeah, but if you did not,
yeah,
maybe you have an RFE
okay.
or a RFE.
Thank you.
And if you didn't even show those things, your petition can also be approved, because I've seen people that they have a very simple petition, they have maybe one supporting document, and the petition were approved. I can give you stories upon stories. I think we will, I will discuss that at the end of this meeting. So, and I've seen people that have like published papers and the petition were denied. So there are so many things that affect if a petition is approved or not. Is there any other question before we move into the next section? Okay. In the absence of questions, let's move to the next section. So in this new section, we'll be talking about President Trump's. Oh,
Hello.
I think there's a question.
Excuse me.
Okay,
Yeah,
Juliana.
yeah. So before you move on, I just want to ask a question. Like, if I don't think it pertains to this particular what you just explained currently, but like if I have a friend that is overseas, maybe UK, and wants to apply for this EB2, and he already have US visa, he comes and goes. What do you advise? Can the person come into the US and apply, submit his petition, then go back, or he has to get everything together and submit it overseas? Then when it's approved, do the person need to go through the overseas route? Because I know there's a route that someone that stays overseas has to follow, or can the person fly into the US, then stay in and apply for green card? I don't know how to go about it.
Nika,
Alright,
do
Juliana.
you want me to answer it?
Yeah, I see you're itching to answer. Go
So
ahead.
you don't need to be in the US to apply for EB2-NIW or EB1A. You can file for it from outside the US, from anywhere in the world. Okay? And once that petition is approved, the person will go through consular processing. However, there are instances in which people they don't want to go through consular processing. They'll come to the US and adjust their status. People have done that too. But the challenge in not waiting for consular processing come here is that once the person come here, they can't work because they don't have any document to work. So they need to wait until that EAD card is being processed and sent to them. So usually I advise people that are filing from outside the US to wait until they go through that consular processing, so that once they get to the US, they already have their green card to start working.
Oh, okay. So I think I understand, but let me just reiterate what you just said. So what you mean is that the person can submit application from overseas,
Yes.
and when his NIW is approved, he has two options: either fly to the US, apply for his green card, but for the period where he's waiting for his employment authorization card, he will be out of status. He will not be able to work, right?
So
Yes. Yeah,
so
go ahead.
this is what I'm saying. If person file from outside the US and the petition is approved, it's better for the person to go through consular processing. The reason I'm saying that is that person can continue working wherever he or she is working and still go through the consular processing with his or her family. But if that person comes here into the US, number one, he or she cannot work. So the person just be sitting at home doing nothing. And we know that it takes time for the power date to be current. So that means the person might sit at home for like 6 months before he or she gets a EAD card. Then number two, when the person is trying to come to the US, at the border, the custom guys will probably already see that person has an approved petition. So they may ask, what is the person coming to the US to do? That they can say that he or she has like an approved I-140. So I think if you weigh the options, I think for me, I would say it's easier, it's less stressful for the person to just go through consular processing than trying to come to the US to adjust their status.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Juliana, I want to give you one wisdom for free. It depends on what your friend is applying for. Okay, if your friend is applying for EB1A, they can do everything under 6 months when they visit, because I'm assuming your friend is on visiting visa. So when in that first 6 month stay, because we don't have issues with priority date, this and that, they can be able to achieve it and get it done during the 6 months wait if they are applying for EB1. If they are applying for EB2-NIW, it's not possible. Let them stay in the country wherever they are. I think you said UK. And let them finish the whole process just to prevent any issue with the USCIS, the immigration at the port of entry and things like that. Let them just, because when you've already shown the consent that you want to immigrate and you're now coming that I want to just visit, it's contradictory and they can send you back. So decide what the credential of that person is. If they qualify for EB1A, they can do it when they visit. If they do not qualify for EB1A, let them do EB2-NIW from the country where they are and wait till they go through the consular processing stage before coming.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the responses.
You're welcome. I think that's all. Juliana will put her hand down now, and no more questions for me.
Okay.
Prof, can you go on? So will I still ask you questions or you are good?
Yeah, let's do it in the question and answer format.
I have a question, please.
Okay, Mr. Richard.
Okay, so I want to ask about RFE. I know a friend who got an RFE, and I think that the response from whoever that wrote the RFE was, okay, we described the person as being petty because aside all the evidence and all the documents submitted, which were voluminous, I think one of the requirements was that, well, everybody can get these expertise, or everybody can get these qualifications, or everybody can get these certifications, or everybody can win this award. So what makes your award exceptional, and what makes you think that you deserve this? And I mean,
That's what they wrote in the RFE.
Yeah, so basically they are asking, what makes you think that what you got as what you want to capitalize on is an exceptional? Because
really,
you say you participated in this conference, you got this certification, you got this award, like everyone can get that award. So we've been thinking about it, but I just want to check from both of you your expertise. How is it like if you get an RFE? What's the advice? To personally respond or to seek for an attorney's support? Because this is self-petition.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for looking out for your friend.
Yeah.
Well, I usually tell people RFE is not the end of the world, but it depends on the kind of RFE you get. From our experience as a company, when you get an RFE and they did not even accept your eligibility and proposed endeavor, the chances are when you respond to that RFE, you will still be denied. So going through the 3 prongs, they did not accept any of the 3 prongs. You're in trouble. Yes, seek the advice of somebody that is an expert to change how things are going. But we've noticed that some RFE, they will just say, oh, yes, we agree, your proposed endeavor, you're eligible for this category you applied for. The proposed endeavor, yes, it's of national importance. We agree that's substantial merit, but you did not clearly tell us how you're going to implement whatever you're proposing. Or we do not see that the evidence you gave us is enough to show that you are well positioned. That kind of battle, that second prong, we can fight it and say, okay, this award, maybe I didn't explain enough. It's a global award. I'm one of 350 applicants. It shows that I'm exceptional as an energy professional or as an engineer, and my work, then you you keep talking about your work or the solution you want to prefer. Okay, so there's a way around that kind of thing. But if it's like, oh, all the three prongs are not accepted, I'll say seek a lawyer. Don't do it by yourself again, or seek a professional to help you. Okay.
Okay,
So I hope that answers your question.
let
Yes.
me answer that
Prof.
question, then we'll move to the next section because we are running out of time. So in terms of award, if you say, oh, I've gotten like an award, the way most people write in that call letter is, I've gotten an award. But they don't give any background story.
Context.
So let's say you have like a Nobel laureate. First, you need to tell them what does it mean to have a Nobel Prize or to be a Nobel laureate. You need to tell them the requirements that you need to meet, okay? And you need to provide the necessary documents. So if you go to the website for Nobel Prize, they'll probably have like a web page where they state the requirements that you need to meet to get a Nobel Prize. Download that requirement, save it as a PDF, and attach it as supporting document. So with that supporting document, you have showed them that, okay, this is the support document from the website of the people that gave me the award that shows the condition that I had to meet. Now, how did you meet the requirement or the condition for the award? Let's say they wanted you to have published at least 50 peer review paper, have 100 citation, gotten several government grants, including NSF. You need to say, okay, this is how I met the requirement for the award. I've gotten like 4 government grants with a total amount of $5 million. I've published 20 peer review paper. I've had 35 peer review citation and attached the necessary supporting documents. Okay. And that's that they want to see is how many people applied for the award, how many people got it. For example, NSF, if you go to NSF website, they will tell you how many people apply for NSF grant each, and how many people got the grant, and they'll tell you the percentage. Usually like 21% every year for NSF. Go to NSF website, download that statistics, attach it as supporting document. Okay, so one thing that I usually tell people that we work with is that it's not really about how much you write, it's about what you can prove. Most people, they write lengthy cover letter, 50 page, 70 page, 100 page. I've even seen 220 pages. You don't need to write that much. Once you are writing that much, you are trying to make up for the document that you don't have. That's what I'm trying to do. Make sure that you prove beyond any reasonable doubts that you really are well positioned to advance your purpose in the work. Provide them with document upon document. Okay?
Okay. I hope that answers the question, and I wish your friend all the best. We do offer RFE response services, and you can contact us through our website if your friend needs that service. So we are behind. So Prof, the first question for you is, will President Trump ban EB2-NIW?
I'm going to say no. President Trump will not ban EB2-NIW or EB1A because he's very much interested in skilled professionals. In fact, he has stated in a couple of his talk that he wants people that will contribute to the economy positively, people that have like very skilled expertise in the area that the US is interested in. So we know that the President Trump is very big on energy, like on fossil fuel. So he's big on tech. He's very big on trade. He's very interested in the Americans manufacturing their goods here in the US. So, and the US needs skilled professionals for that. So President Trump cannot ban EB2-NIW. He doesn't even have the power to ban it. He needs Congress approval to do that. Okay. Next question.
Your next question is, how will President Trump's administration help us with the backlogs and the processing time for EB2-NIW? What do you see happening with that?
To be sincere, I don't know how it's going to help with the backlog. I think the backlog will probably increase during President Trump administration. So during this first administration, EB2-NIW as at 2017 to 2018, because I filed in 2018. EB2-NIW was current, which means if your petition is approved today, you can turn in your adjustment status today. And you can also do concurrent filing. So when he came during his first administration, he said everyone must go through, USCIS brought in a new policy that everyone must be interviewed. So I was interviewed by USCIS. So that was when the backlog started, because everyone had to go through interview. But when 2020 came and COVID came, it was difficult for people to go for in-person interview. So they started waiving it. So I'm seeing that they will bring that back. So I don't see how the backlog would reduce, because the Republicans and President Trump, they are very keen on serious vetting of people that come into the US. So beside the interview, they want to implement some other serious vetting, background check. So, and that will affect the backlog too.
Perfect. Time, yeah, on time just now. So how do you already shared some part of it, but just for you to continue in that line, how do you think things will be more difficult for EB2-NIW and EB1A applicants during President Trump's era?
I don't think things will be more difficult for EB2-NIW and EB1A. What I feel is that USCIS might be more stricter on how they define the purpose and substantial merit and national importance. So if you check that new policy, I don't even know why they released that policy. They should have waited till President Trump take over for them to release the policy.
USCIS is on their own.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can do
So
that.
so they'll probably be stricter on concerning what counts as substantial merit and national importance. The definition might get more narrower. So maybe purpose and before that will have counted to have substantial merit and national importance may not have again. Okay. So like I said, we know that President Trump is big on domestic production of oil and gas. And we know that will help to meet domestic demand for oil and gas. So if he keeps talking about, we need to be able to produce enough oil to meet our energy demand, that has national importance. Okay? Because that has national importance does not mean someone that studied geology or petroleum engineering that is supposed to have national importance. Person must be able to show that there's a direct connection between what he or she is proposing and how it will help to produce more oil and natural gas for the United States.
Up.
Okay.
So your next question, you've been talking about policies during your own time in 2018 policies. Tell us those policies that President Trump raised during his tenure that you think affected things.
Okay, so for example, I know that during his tenure, he actually there was this executive order that he signed on critical mineral and rare earth elements, because at that time, I think there's about 55 rare critical minerals and rare elements, and those are the minerals that they used to produce phone, laptop. They're like I'm a geologist. I should know all these things, but they're like cobalt, all those rare earth minerals. So he wanted the US to produce more of that than importing it, because they were importing it from China, and China was produce a lot of rare earth elements. So that policy actually kind of affected people that are filing for EB1 or EB2, because if you are in that field, it's an area that the US is interested in, and and if you push a proposed endeavor that aligns with that, your petition will be approved. In terms of policy that affects EB2-NIW directly, I've mentioned one earlier. People have to start being interviewed by USCIS. And I think that
what of public charge?
Yeah, there was a time that they were proposing that a public charge, that you need to show that you have enough fund in your account to support yourself for EB2-NIW, but I think that one was waived at a particular point in time. Then I think around that time, they were floating the idea that people that have already gotten like government benefit or use government benefits like Medicaid. That there's some people that give back in the US that are F1 students, and they go and get that government card for them to buy food for their kids. So those are part of government benefits. So they might want to start adding that to maybe your I-485 forms when when President Trump is officially sworn in as president next week. So those are the kind of policy that influenced EB2-NIW and EB1A during President Trump's first administration.
Okay, so we've talked about approvals, but I want some people are on this line, they are looking to change their status. What do you say to those people? How will it affect their change of status? Will it be like collect your EAD today and wait for the main green card 1 year, 1 year from then? How was it during your time for change of status?
So change of time, I think I got my EAD card within 3 months. It was a combo card. I mean, which means the EAD card double as my advanced parole. Okay, but it took a while. It took 1 year for me to get my green card, and that's because I had to go for an interview at a USCIS field office. Okay, so that's the only thing that I believe would influence people that are trying to adjust their status. They might probably have to go for an in-person interview at the nearest USCIS office that's very, very close to where they live.
Right. Again, now trying to corroborate what I also said, or what's in the updated policy document USCIS released recently. Do you see I-140 evaluations becoming point-based? So, they just mentioned again that they are not just going to pick one particular supporting document or supporting evidence and say, oh, your case has been approved. They are going to look at everything wholesomely or all together. Do you think it's going to become like a point-based system like they do in Canada or other places?
Okay, so first thing first, point-based system is a system employed for people that are trying to get permanent residence in Canada. And what that system involves is that they look at different factors and assess a point to it. So if you have like a bachelor's degree, you can get like maybe 1 point. If you have a master's degree, you might get 2 extra points. If you have a PhD, you might get 3 extra points. Then if you can speak French, you get a point for that. If you are young, I think if you are below 35 or so, you get a higher point compared to someone that is in their 40s. Now, President Trump has actually floated that idea during his first term, but I don't see how we can implement it during his second term. Why am I saying that? For him to implement that, someone will have to raise that bill on the floor of the U.S. Senate or U.S. House of Representatives. Then to review that bill and pass it. That probably take like 2 years or maybe 3 years. Then they will now send it to the president to sign it. So that entire process might take 3 or even 4 years. So I don't see how that will happen within a 4-year period.
So those are your questions. Again, if you would like to take 1 minute to shed more light on what you think President Trump's national important endeavors or profession will be during his tenure, considering that we have non-STEM people here. So be nice.
Okay, so I think number one, he wants the US, he wants a balance in trade. So for example, President Trump has raised the concern that I think they export less goods to Canada compared to how much Canada is bringing into the US. So he wants a balance of trade. So if you're in the financial sector or maybe supply chain sector, you're in an area that will help them to balance trade or things like that, that will help, because that's an area of concern for President Trump. Then President Trump has talked about healthcare, like they want to repeal the Affordable Care Act, and that means they have to bring in a new healthcare policy. So if you're in the social science field or healthcare field where you help to draft policies and things like that, that will help, because that falls within President Trump priorities. If you're in the energy sector, fossil fuel is it's going to be drill, baby, drill.
Okay.
Because they want the US to meet the energy demand. Yes, the US is still big on renewable energy. I think if that's a sector too, that will help. Okay. President Trump, we know that he's supporting the cryptocurrency people. So if you have skills in blockchain and anything in that area, or maybe you are developing an application that will people to do something with cryptocurrency, I think that will also help.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We have 3 minutes to go, but we also know that people have their own personal questions that they want to ask, so that it will benefit others. They just don't want to ask us directly. So we are going to take 15 more minutes. Apologies. To answer people's questions. Okay. So if you have a question, by show of hand, let us know. By show of hand, I see Miss Adiola Phillips. The mic is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the insight that you've shared so far. It's been very helpful. I was just going to ask, what about those in the field of education and mental health?
Oh, perfect. I love it. So how do we do this? Do we answer straight up, or we should take everything?
Yes. Let's quickly answer this. So
Okay, you
for
heard our
education,
question.
yes, I'm going to give you an example. So there was a client that we worked with that was in 2022. Yes, she was actually a school teacher, an elementary school teacher. Okay, so she didn't propose that her proposed endeavor would be a teacher, and her proposed endeavor would be to teach elementary school kids. That was not what the proposed endeavor. What we helped her to write was that, my proposed endeavor is on nutrition. I'm going to conduct research on nutrition and develop programs to educate people, seminar to teach people, and also how people can live a better life. That was our proposed endeavor, and it was approved. So when you're proposing education, don't say my proposed endeavor is the field of education, because if you are an assistant professor or you're a school or teacher, there's probably a problem that you're solving. And the way we explain to people, when it comes to proposed endeavor, we say that a proposed endeavor is a problem that you're trying to solve or a solution that you're bringing to the US. And for us, we tell people that before you write the substantial international importance of your proposed endeavor, you need to first explain your proposed endeavor in at least one page. So if you're in the field of education, it could be the fact that kids are finding it difficult to understand mathematics or learn mathematics. So your proposed endeavor could be, I'm going to develop new teaching methodology that will help kids to learn mathematics using software application. Okay?
Time up.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question, Miss Adiola.
Yes,
So the next,
sorry,
sorry, it's just time. We're very conscious of time. So I know that Daphne talked before, so I'm going to take Oluwaseun first. We're coming to you, Daphne. You don't need to put your hands down, but just to prioritize others that haven't spoken before.
Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you, Professor. Thank you all for your time. I have a question, and the question is for people who want to self-petition. And for instance, let me take me for example, right? My OPT has started counting, and if I get a job, the first one, I'm a STEM student. The first one has started counting. If I get a job that is not in my field, how will that, because that one will fill the void of me being worried about my countdown. But how will that one help me when I get to a self-petition stage? Because because the offers I have right now doesn't collaborate with what I've studied or what I've been doing for the past decade. And I just want to find out if
Okay, sorry. I'm going to answer that question because I know Bobola is just going to drag it forever. So, so I want to believe that before you did the advanced degree that gave you that OPT right now, or that started counting, you had some years of experience.
yes.
Perfect. So that's what you're going to claim in your eligibility. Don't forget whatever job you want to do on OPT. You have to survive. So do whatever you have on the table right now for your OPT. But whenever you are talking about your experience in your area of proposed endeavor, emphasize more on the experience you had. Okay.
Oh,
Those
okay,
10
thank you.
years that are related to the proposed endeavor rather than what you're going for on OPT right now.
All
Okay.
right, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And let us be clear, okay? Let us be clear. When you're writing your petition, a lot of people will focus on their advanced degree. That's not your proposed endeavor. Your proposed endeavor is not also the work you are doing now, or the research you are doing now. It's proposed, it's in future, what you want to do. Okay, so you need to be able to draw lines on those things as well. If a lawyer is writing for you or you are writing for yourself. So if you're using the experience from chemistry that you've had before going for that OPT job that is not related to chemistry, emphasize on that rather than the job you're doing now. Anyway.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Sandra. And Taiwo should be getting ready.
Yeah. So thank you for organizing this, really helpful. And so I've seen people's petition letters or, people who have applied, and mostly it sort of looks like EB2-NIW favors researchers, so people who are doing like big science related stuff. But I am not in the field. I've just been working for a consulting firm in transportation planning. So I'm wondering what you think my chances are, and if you think I should make a move.
Your chances are high. Nika, do you want
It's
to answer?
very high. Please, I don't like how you overlook your things because they are not somebody's doing gene on cancer. Okay?
Yeah.
Bolade, I'm not throwing shades, but what I'm trying to say is that transportation is big deal. Especially if you are doing electric vehicle. I mean, you are solving problem
Yeah.
about
So
charging
can I say
electric
something?
vehicle.
My issue is the fact that I am working for a consulting firm. We are paid to do the work for these cities and counties, and
Okay,
we even
even
have
better.
projects from the federal government.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So, yeah. But we are paid to do it.
Yeah,
We are
it's part
paid
of
to
it.
do it, but
Yeah.
then is President Biden that said companies like yours should be in business or should be even
Okay.
employing consultants to start with.
Okay.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
you're going to focus on those big grants they are giving all the states to fix their transportation problems,
Yeah.
and say that you are helping them to achieve their objective,
Mhm.
even if you are not working in government. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I
So
do.
don't even play it down at all.
And
Okay.
Nika, let me add
Taiwo.
something. So Miss President Trump is very big on infrastructure. During his first time, he was saying that the US infrastructure is bad, the airport are old, the subway are old. So the fact that you are in that field, it's an area of national interest to the US. Well, whether it's building new roads, roads are in levels. They're trying to build roads that will help all this EV, because all this EV, they have special sensor. That's part of it. Some states are considering light rail. That's part of it. Some people are thinking of intelligent transportation system.
Yes.
That's part of it. So please go and file for your EB2-NIW and talk to us.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you guys. Thank you.
Taiwo.
Okay. Thank you for your time so far. My question is directly to Bobola. I'm not quite clear about the climate change you talked about as a no-no, or does it mean, are you referring to maybe CCUS?
Why now?
Or I'm not sure about the climate change that is a no-no. Does it mean that you can't use climate change as a proposal, or you're talking about CCUS? That's my question or clarification.
And it's not, I don't see it as being President Trump top priority. Okay, so during his administration, it might not be an area of national interest. So climate change is while during that's why they want to transition from fossil fuel to renewable energy. Okay, if it's not his top priority, USCIS might say, oh, this is not an area of national interest. That does not mean that you can't write your post endeavor around it.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to CCUS, I've worked with people and I've drafted proposed endeavor around CCUS and it was approved. Okay, you can still write your proposed endeavor around that and that will be approved because that is the new technology. And CCUS is not really about climate change alone, it's about using carbon dioxide from other productive things, like putting them into bricks to make bricks for road, using that carbon CO2 for manufacturing, like let's say you are bottling soda and things like that. So instead of just releasing into the atmosphere, you are using it for other things to produce other products. Okay.
So does it matter in this case right now, one with renewable energy economics, let's say PhD holder in renewable energy economics, which one would you advise to go for? Is it EB2-NIW or EB1A?
It's not about you having the PhD. It's about do you meet the requirements? So for EB1A, there are 10 requirements that clearly stated by USCIS. They want to see if you have scholarly work. They want to see if you have gotten nationally or internationally recognized award and some other things. Do you have the evidence to support each of those requirements?
So we have a video on YouTube, Mr. Taiwo. Our last seminar was comparing EB1A and EB2-NIW. Okay. So I advise you to go look at it so that you will know which one you best fit into.
Okay, thank you.
So the next person is Farm Samuel. Then Chukwuemeka should be getting ready. Then Esther.
All right. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you for the effort so far. My name is Samuel Emmanuel. I'm actually a pharmacist, a trained and licensed pharmacist here in Nigeria. I live in Nigeria currently. And then I actually have intention to apply for I'm not specific about which of them I should go for, but then EB1 or EB2 as a trained pharmacist, I will need your advice on how to go about this briefly. And then please kindly remind me of the what's called the document I will be needing so that I can put them together and all of that, please. Thank you.
In this call that we said we have 15 minutes to answer question.
I actually came in a bit late. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, because you're in Nigeria. That's why I'm doing this. So
thank you.
John Doe will help us to put a link to the website, the USCIS website, where we have EB1 requirements and EB2 requirements. So you can evaluate yourself, okay, and see which one you meet better, okay? So your supporting documents are also listed there. But the most important thing is EB1A, seniors EB2. So if you know that you have extraordinary, okay, outstanding experience or award or research like patents and all those big things, you can go for EB1A. If you think that you just have like few publications, few local awards, maybe few citations, just go for EB2-NIW. why a lot of people want to go for EB1A, even though they don't meet the standard, is that they do not have any wait time. Once you are approved, you can easily change to your green card or change your status. But EB2-NIW, you have to wait. I cannot tell you more than that. You need to come and pay for consultation for the rest. Okay, so I think it's
all right, that would
Chukwuemeka
be.
that
Thank
is
you so
next.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ma. Thanks for your time and for organizing this. My question is in regarding just documentation and
Yes.
like, so for example, like if you're currently awaiting your approval notice after applying for the EB2-NIW. And so, for example, this year I have to extend my H1B. I also have to renew my passport. How does that stack up with submitting documentation for adjustment of status when that comes around? Especially since some of that, some of the biodata information that you submitted it will be changing, I guess. In that, how does that stack up, or does it matter, or what do you do in that situation?
Okay, so whenever you're ready to change your status,
Yeah.
make sure everything is up to date. Make sure you're in a particular status, H1B, whatever it is, make sure your passport is up to date whenever you're ready to change your status. Okay. But if you are just doing the I-140 stage for now, you can just go on. You are fine. You don't need to, your passport might not even be up to date. You might still be trying to change your passport and things like that. But whenever it's time to change your status, make sure everything is ready and up to date.
So in my case, I have applied already sometime last year, and just waiting on the approval notice. So right now, but this year, towards the end of this, I have to renew my passport. I have to extend H1. So that's
so renew, extend. Even if your approval comes and your priority date becomes current, you just wait. Okay. Extend your H1B, get your passport, then apply for the adjustment of status.
Okay.
And Mr. Chukwuemeka, when you are adjusting your status, they will ask you to provide copies of your immigration documents, so you can just add a photocopy of your new passport to it.
Yes.
So it's a part of the support document for your I-45, and I also think your form I-765. So you'll be fine.
Okay. So quickly, Esther.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Ma. I will be very brief with this. My question is, if you have done the application for EB2 and then you travel out of the US to go renew your F1 visa status, would that in any way mar either the EB2 application or the F1 visa renewal? Thank you.
Don't do it. That's my answer. Don't do it. If you're going to travel and you're not going to have to renew your visa, you can travel. But if you are going to have to renew your visa, go to the embassy. Don't do it. Okay? They already have your your information. They know that you've now shown interest in becoming an immigrant. So now you're coming to tell them you want to come and renew your visiting or renew your F1 or student visa. They know you are lying. They might deny it. It's on them. They have the right to do and undo. So you don't want to leave your life or judgment of your life to somebody's hand like that. So don't do it.
Yeah.
Bobola, don't answer again.
Okay.
So I think it's Emeka, then Gloria and Zachariah, and we'll not be able to take more. Sorry.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Oh, Emeka, you're now on mute. Oh. You muted yourself after thanking us. Okay. Zachariah, while Emeka is trying to figure out what's happening.
Okay. Thank you for having me. My name is Zachariah, and I am a lecturer in Nigeria, even though I'm also a student here in the US. So yes. So in the past, some of the research I've done in the area of energy economics and and then industrial organization. But in the US now, my research is in the area of health economics. So I'm having that challenge to kind of marry my previous work, previous research, and then my current and then proposed endeavor, because my proposed endeavor is going to be in the area of kind of like public health and then maybe health insurance kind of, So
So for that marriage to occur, you need to book a consultation with us. Okay, we can marry things well with our storytelling expertise, and we can see the way we can help you. So contact us, Mr. or Dr. Zachariah. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Emeka.
Okay. Sorry for that break. My question would be on EB2-NIW. I just want to know, because I've listened carefully and I've seen that I've heard over and over that it will be approved probably, I think I was hearing 6 months or 1 year. So my question now is, if I'm to do that EB2-NIW, because I think I also heard you say that EB1A is more of the extraordinary ability, if I recall what you said well. So I think I'm looking at EB2-NIW. Now my question is, how much time is the processing time going to be? Is it that if I do it before I know I'm getting receipt notice, I'm getting approval, everything is going to be under 6 months, or it will be like other applications that you'll be hearing stories that, oh, they've not given me receipt notice, I've not gotten approval, I've not gotten this? Or is it because it's of high professional requirements, everything is always express? They would always give you probably your approval within 6 months, your receipt notice within 1 month or 2. Is it streamlined, or is it still like any other application that some might be fast, some might be slow? I just want to understand.
Okay. I get your question. And the simple answer is, it is like other applications. EB2-NIW is like other applications. You have to wait the time. Patience is key in EB2-NIW application. Okay. If you have a lot of money, you can do premium processing. And that alone is just going to get the approval out of the door like 2 weeks to, let me say, 45 days. Well, that's what they promised. So 15 to 45 days premium processing, you will know if your case was approved. But you still have to go to your house and sit down for your priority date, even if it's approved. So the priority date or the wait time, okay, for now, I would put it at almost 2 years, to be sincere. So the people that applied August 2022 are the people that they are attending to now to change their status. So you can see that we're already in 2025. So the wait time, the wait game is what you have to deal with for EB2-NIW. Even if you do premium processing, it just tells you your case has been approved. It doesn't allow you to get the green card. You still have to wait. Gloria.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thanks for this forum. So my question is this. If one have an approved O1 visa, is it advisable to repackage and submit for EB1 now, or just wait a bit and let's see how the Trump administration is going to, maybe, we don't know, maybe there's going to be a massive policy change? Because now I wouldn't want to put in an EB1 and then probably even pay for premium, and then maybe Trump comes up with policy. I don't know. What do you think? I'm just kind of confused, please. Thank you.
I'm hearing O1, I'm hearing EB1, I'm hearing EB2. Please clarify.
No, I didn't say EB2. I said if one have an O1 approval already,
okay,
do you think one should package and submit for EB1, or wait and see how the administration wants to go, the new one. Yeah, that's just the question. What do you advise? Do you think one can just go ahead?
Yes, even more now than ever. Go ahead and apply for your EB1A.
Okay, you think the
Yes.
O1 gives a good chance that
No, they are standalone. It doesn't mean because you got an O1 approval that they are going to approve your EB1. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
They are standalone. It doesn't improve the chances of approval. But I'm saying O1 visa, we don't know what will become of it. We don't know if it's going to even be encouraged or not. So I would like you to secure your chances by just applying for your EB1 now.
Okay.
Or as soon as you can.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I think we've come to the end of questions and answers.
Nike,
Please.
you
Yes,
need
sir.
to take Daphne's question. You said
I
our question will
promise,
be
yeah?
answered, yes.
Okay. And I see Mr. Emeka still has his hand up. Maybe he was not satisfied with my answer.
So Daphne, please
But you
ask your
can
question.
wait after we speak with Daphne.
I was asking, could you change status under a student visa, or if, for example, your status in the US terminates and you're in another country, but then you get the approval for the EB2, would it be possible to change status in that way, or does that affect your whole situation?
So if you're on a student visa,
I'm
but
sorry,
you're
visitor's
not in
visa.
the US,
Yeah,
you're
I
not
meant
in the
visitor's visa.
US. Yes, you can. Your F1 is still current, like it's still there. You're just not in the country. That's the question, yeah? You can.
Yeah.
You can change your status.
So let me just add to that. For you to adjust your status, you need to be in the US. So let's say you are outside the US, you may want to go through consular processing. But if you want to adjust your status, you need to come back to the US and be in US physically to adjust your status, which is the change of status.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I had a follow-up question. I don't know if I can ask it.
It did not even allow me to call him. You can ask it, sir.
I wanted to ask if someone has probably submitted and the person has not gotten received notice for like maybe 3 months now or 4 months, is that an issue or is still like a normal process?
I hope that's not you. I hope that's not you. Talk, let us know. Well, that's an issue, okay? You should get your receipt notice within 30 days.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going 3-4 months, that's an issue. Go and talk with Emmy, or I think that's what the chat box is called. Their chat bots. Go and chat on their website and let it know that you submitted your thing. It will ask for your name. To ask for, when you submitted and things, to tell you what was happening. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Or give you a number to call.
Okay.
Mr. Emeka, did they send you a text or email to give you your receipt number?
No, nothing has been nothing.
So
doesn't have receipt number.
No communication, nothing.
Did you fill form G1145?
G1145? No.
Oh, that's why they didn't send you a text or email. Because with that form G1145, you are authorizing USCIS to communicate with you electronically. So if you don't fill that form, they will not send you any text or email. So you need to contact USCIS. Probably need to call them or chat with that Emmy that Nick is talking about.
Yeah. I've called them. They just okay.
You've called them. What did they say?
No, they just say the Dropbox. That's all.
Dropbox. Okay, yeah. You can also do Dropbox. It's something box, but you can also write to that an email, and they will respond to you as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Bobola, we are really overboard. But I would like to appreciate everyone that is still with us. Thank you all for joining. And again, we are here to help. Okay, our services are listed on our website. We help with RFE response. We help with initial drafting of cover letter. So initial submission, we help you to put together your package. We also do consultations, so you can pay for 1 hour consultation and we'll help you evaluate your portfolio or your credentials and see what your chances are for approval. Okay. We also do take instrumental payments. So you can pay instrumentally. You don't have to look for all the money you see on the website, and you don't have to pay at once. So we're just here to help, and we hope to see these names we are seeing on the screen in our emails asking for some of our services and paying for them. Again, thank you so much. And yes, the recording will be on YouTube. You can go listen again. And I see they've dropped our emails and the ways you can contact us. So we'll just look forward to hearing from everyone. Thank you and take care.